AJ, thoughts on the 1-1 series heading to Detroit here?
Well, Detroit had a chance to really take a stranglehold with Skubal pitching last night, and the Mariners, listen, Luis Castillo did an amazing job. These have been two awesome games. If you haven't watched these two games, now granted, if you like offense, you're not going to see a lot of that, but if you like pitching and some clutch hitting and a lot of strategy, these are the games for you because there is like, who should they bring in? When should they take the starter out? Who should they pinch hit for? Should they bunt? Should they run? What should they do? And the game on Saturday went extra innings, and the Tigers won 3-2, and with a clutch hit from Zach McKinstry after a leadoff walk and a wild pitch. And then last night, Polanco with the 2 homers off Skubal. Spencer Torkelson with a huge base hit, and we can debate pitch calling all day long, Kratzy, as you know. And then all of a sudden, the Cal and Julio shows up, back-to-back doubles of Kyle Finnegan, a guy who has now pitched in 4 or 5 days. And the Mariners beat the Tigers 3-2. And if you didn't see the guy crying in the stands that we showed on Fox, it was incredible. The guy in a bananas hat, because it was the first win for the Mariners in Seattle since 2001. 2001 since they won a home playoff game. And the Seahawks had just lost late in the game, so they were already all riled up. They're facing Skubal, and then they win 3-2. There was a lot of emotions in Seattle, and the crowd there has been awesome. So I hope Detroit matches that crowd.
I saw a bunch of people online saying these are boring games because there's not a lot of offense. Why would I want to even watch this series? This is the reason. These games are so close. It hinges on one pitch. It hinges on your pitch selection. It hinges on the fact that you know how to get a guy out because both these offenses are kind of struggling, minus Julio and Cal. But every pitch could change the trajectory of both these teams' seasons. I think the Mariners are the better team. I think the Tigers had their chance, and I think it's swung back in the favor of the Mariners. Oh, wait, except the Mariners now have to go, as AJ says, east of Spokane. So we'll see how they play. I think they still have the advantage, but they're out of their friendly confines, and I have no idea why that guy was crying.
That's true, though. It's 2 weeks too for the Tigers, and now they're back home. What, AJ? You're going to defend
11 straight. No, the guy. Listen, it was awesome, man. The guy
I like it.
Was having a moment. All right, he was having a moment. You never had a moment, Kratz, where you just
come on.
Yeah, I mean, don't
not about a game. But I mean, come on. That was 24 years ago. How old was that guy? 11?
I don't know how old he was, but it was awesome. It was an awesome shot by our director, Mitch Riggin. So. Way to go, camera guys, and Mitch for nailing that shot.
Also careful, and I'll tell you why, and then you'll go, oh, what if, for example, there's someone close and he lost them and he's thinking they would be loving this moment right now? Just throwing those kind of ideas out there, because that's what happens so often with other teams that hadn't, say, won a World Series in forever, and you have emotions and tears, and often they're connected to lifetime memory, experience, family, friends, situations. Just throwing that out there. Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Sure.
Anyway.
By the way, listen, I don't know what's going to happen in this series, but now it gets really interesting because the Mariners are so much better at home than they are on the road. And they come to Detroit where they did sweep the Tigers right before the All-Star break, but it was a different team. They get Flaherty, who pitched really well in the wild card series. As we know, the bullpens get a day of rest. And then Logan Gilbert, everyone was shocked he didn't pitch game 1 or 2. Nobody really got a reason why. It was just kind of, we want Castillo and Kirby to pitch 1 and 2. There wasn't really any reason given other than, oh, we like Logan Gilbert in game 3. So the Mariners have been terrible on the road. As we know, they were the best home record, I think, in baseball this year in the American League. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it's just, it's intriguing as hell. These games are tight because neither one of these teams has really hit the ball very well. So much, like I said, so much strategy with these two managers. When are they bringing in? First game, the Kerry Carpenter home run. Should he have brought in Gabe Spire to pitch to him instead of letting Kirby face him for the third time, who Kerry Carpenter owns? He's now 5 for 11 with 5 homers. That's it. He's 5 for 11 with 5 homers. No singles, no doubles, no triples. He just hits homers off of him. And they let him pitch to him, and he hit the home run. And then the bullpen usage and the way it went down. I mean, if you talk to the people in the media around those games, they're like, man, you can second guess everything in these series. It's awesome. And it has been. It's been awesome. Yeah, it's not the 13-7 or whatever the Yankees Blue Jays game was yesterday, but at least they've been close games, and there's a lot to talk about.
What about Brian Wu not being involved here for this series, the pectoral inflammation? Since our last show is when we learned that he's officially not part of this series, to me, it makes game 3 even more critical for the Mariners. Is Bryce Miller rumored to be
Yes. He's
starting game
scheduled
4?
He's scheduled to
Okay.
start in game 4. Now, how long will he go? It all depends on game 3, I think. But these managers are riding their bullpens hard, other than Skubal. But like the ultimate, we talk about X factors. The ultimate wild card is Skubal, because Hinch knows that he can get 7 innings like he did last night. And listen, people that say, "Oh, Skubal didn't pitch well," he went 7 innings, gave up 2 solo homers, punched out I think 9, in 7 innings, 1 walk. That's usually pretty good. That's usually really good against a team that won their division at home. That's been way better at home. So Skubal pitched really well. He made 2 mistakes. Other than that, and then Finnegan came in and gave up the 2 doubles. But man, I mean, listen, I don't know what we're going to get out of Logan Gilbert, but it's going to be fascinating to watch. And then Bryce Miller, when he starts, he might go one time through maybe, and then they're going to run to their bullpen, which has been great. So we'll see how it goes. But Jack Flaherty tomorrow, and then Casey Mize. I mean, if you look on paper, you're like, man, I think maybe the Tigers have a little bit of an advantage because they're at home. But you could have said that about game 2, and the Tigers lost a Skubal game with a chance to really put their foot on the Mariners' throat and put them away maybe, but they didn't do it.
FT fam, let's talk about Superpower. Erik Kratz is a proud Superpower customer, and he's going to give us more of the personal experience. But I'll just start it with this. You ever go to the doctor and the doc's just like, "Oh, drink more water." Are you looking for more data, more of a game plan? Superpower does that for you. They give you the experience that athletes get with teams.
The lab results came back for me. Now it streamlines everything that I kind of had an idea of, but now it really lets me focus on the things that I'm deficient in, the things that I have good lab test results from, and I could go in that direction I want to go.
Nutritional guidance, supplement suggestions, you name it. There's so much more info to check out at superpower.com. And you can lock in the special $199 price while it lasts. After you sign up, they're going to ask you how you heard about them. Mention FT to support the show. Your biology decoded, your blueprint activated with Superpower. Kratz, you've got a team that struggles away from home, and they're down basically their best starter this year, right? I mean, Brian Wu was their best starting pitcher, and he was durable and going deep into games for them. Yeah. It's a massive loss for this team, whether it's in the division series or the next round. It is going to burn them because they had a big 3.5-ish. I guess you could put Castillo in there. He looked really good in game 2, but man, you're so much more dangerous if you're the Mariners if you have a guy who's a legit number 1 for the entire 2025 season in your rotation.
I mean, you would think Logan Gilbert's a legit number 1 too. He just hasn't been this year. To me, if AJ's right and it's going to be down to the bullpens, Mariners have the advantage. I get it. The Mariners have gotten, their bullpen got cooked last night because Castillo went 4 1/3 or 4 2/3, but the Tigers have been using their bullpen. But this is where the wild card and the layoff comes into play. The Tigers have been playing. Their bullpen has been pitching every single day. And to me, it's going to catch up to them somewhere. And if it becomes two teams that are playing bullpen games, I think it's advantage Mariners.
And just want to shout out the other historic part here. Yeah, I mean, Seattle hadn't even won a postseason game at home like we talked about at the top there. So that's special. I think Julio Rodríguez being the big, long-term money guy for them, showing up big with some clutch knocks in the first 2 games is huge. So some shout outs there. And then one other thing I started to mention, AJ, the Tigers, I looked up, they hadn't been home in 2 weeks. I don't know how much that matters. Yeah,
11 games.
That's a long time. They're probably happy they get to change underwear.
It was pretty funny. Hinch yesterday in his office, and we're like, "Oh, you get to go home." And they didn't actually take the red eye home. They spent the night and are flying. I think they get home maybe 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. So the Mariners took the red eye and got here early this morning, and the Tigers chose to spend another night on the road. If I was on those Tigers teams, I would have been like, "Get me the heck home so I can sleep in my own bed. I don't want to sleep in another hotel." But they chose to do it the way they do it. Teams have all these sleep schedules and all that stuff, and oh man, it's fascinating how this is going to go.
Does Gabe Spire have to face Kerry Carpenter now in those kind of moments? Like if you're mid-game and you're thinking about it and it's a 1 or 2 run game and there's too much pressure, you have to just bring him in as the kryptonite?
Him and Caleb Ferguson have to face that pocket of Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter.
Okay. Yeah, that to me was the big change from game 1 to game 2, right? If there's
it's
one
just-
thing a manager can
Yep.
can impact, it's that. And Kratz, the move was made by Dan Wilson. It's like, if I get beat this time around, okay, but I'm not going to get beat with the same exact strategy.
Because you may not ever get to another at bat. Like I get it. You might want to try to get by him, and Kerry Carpenter's shown that. I get it. He caught him that time, but until he can beat Spire or Ferguson, can't let it happen. That's where you got to go to. So you're gonna live and die on that hill.